So Gersh Kodesh number 9 of the Tanya says that the point of going to work is not so you can make money in order to buy stuff and then you can give some of it to tzedakah, or with some of it you can do mitzvahs. But the point of going to work is to do chesed. And that therefore the more money you have, therefore the more mitzvahs you can do, the more chesed you can do. So like you're not in the picture, because whenever you have the key elements of the Tanyas, you have the Nefesh Behema and the Nefesh Elokis, and the goal of life is to align with the Nefesh Elokis, which is bottle to Hashem, and get rid of the Nefesh Behema's dominance over your life. So therefore when you're making money for yourself, so therefore that's just the Yeshinus, that's just the me becoming complete and blocking God out and not letting God in. So the more that you focus on God, the Nefesh Elokis, so therefore the closer you are to God and become mamash batatum. So therefore the point of going to work, you can't you say, well, I'm going to work for for myself. Obviously you have, I want food in order that I can serve Hashem. So everything you're doing, it's just avodas Hashem, because that gives you the greatest simcha of identifying with your Nefesh Elokis and just having this krivus Hashem mamash all day. So there's a thing called chizuk, where people like to give people chizuk, or will say, oh, that's great chizuk. The chizuk will be something that really I don't want to do, and it's not something that is easy for me, or that's ideal for me, or maybe it's ideal, but I can't do it. And then I need an outside strength in order to push me in a way to do something that I don't want to do. So getting up in the morning, and it's cold outside, I need chizuk in order to do that. So having your Judaism based around chizuk is that I hate being Jewish, and these Torah mitzvahs that are being forced upon me by an outside source have nothing to do with me, and I hate everything. So therefore I can get chizuk in order to go against what I really want to do and do these ideas of Torah mitzvahs. Now these will work only in a short period of time, because as soon as the chizuk goes, so therefore they're not interested in doing this anymore. The idea of teshuva is not that I did something wrong and I won't do it again. It's that I have become somebody who doesn't do that anymore. I've completely transformed myself from somebody who does averos to somebody who doesn't do averos. And some teshuvas can have this idea from things like used to eating in McDonald's and now they don't eat there anymore, and it's just not something they do, because that's the teshuva. They're a transformed person, and things that were issues for them before they just don't have. Now the opposite of that will then be that I haven't transformed anything, and therefore I'm inspired. I get inspired in order to do things that I don't want to do. And then things are great, but because I haven't changed anything, I haven't transformed anything, so then this inspiration will disappear as soon as I get a punch in the face, to go like Mike Tyson. But when things go bad, when things are wonderful, oh, I love God, everything's great, and then things go bad, and it's like you just completely lose your biscuits, and then you're back to where you started, because the inspiration was just a vorce that sounded good, and therefore it was not makabel, it was not das, it was just in the levels of chachma and bina, and therefore it was never you, it never became part of you, because that's why it's chizuk, because if it becomes part of you, you don't need the chizuk, you're a changed person, so now you don't need the chizuk anymore. So inspirational talks are really counter helpful. They don't help people, because they lure them into a false sense of security of that this is, you're from this, but it's just going to go away, because nothing is being internalized. And the inspiration is the opposite of internalization. The inspiration is the opposite of changing yourself as a person and changing your relationship with God. I was on Torah Anytime the other day, and they're like the kings of inspirational talks, and they have these posters up saying, this will completely transform your Elul or your life, your this or that. Now it's like they have no idea what transformation is, because nothing will transform unless you change yourself. The transformation comes from within. Where I did have taivas, I don't have taivas anymore. So the transformation is not what these videos are about. It's the opposite of that. So I wanted to watch one of these things to see, inspire me. And first you have there's an ad for some book or something. I mean, this is complete bittul Torah. Why? This is like this Torah anytime, except for when we're giving you ads on stuff. And then the guy starts speaking, and he doesn't say anything for the book. He fast forwarding 30 seconds, 2 minutes. He hasn't started yet. I don't know what he's talking about. It's not anything to do with whatever I clicked on here. So this is a great way to start. That this is just clickbait. So he starts talking, and think again, everything he's talking about is like a completely different religion. It's that there's me, I'm here, and I need to do the best for me. And then there's a thing called God, and God is coming and he's making life difficult for me. It's not me and God. It's like God is not on my team, and I need to find tachbulos. I need to find ways and tricks in order to how to make me feel like God likes me when really he doesn't, and he's only there to mess up my life and make my life more difficult, because it'd be so much easier if I was just a goy. It's like there's managed two different religions out there, and like all these speeches of that are meant to be the advertised on the homepage of Torah Anytime. I think it would be this is the great inspirational stuff, and it's depressing to see how there's just no God in any of this, and it's all just focused on the me. And again, the more you focus on the me, the more depressed you are. And ideas of taking Kabbalahs on Elul or Rosh Hashanah. You can't take a Kabbalah because the Kabbalah is something that's outside of you. Again, there's just no transformation of the person itself. And that the more Kabbalahs that I take on, the further and further away I am from who I am and what Judaism is and God. And this is what they're preaching. And then people need chizuk because they're living someone else's life. Then they're stuck in this inspirational cycle where nothing works. So I need the next dose of inspiration, and then realize I should give it all up because it's clearly not working, but I feel bad about that. So I've spent the last 35 years, putting tefillin on, so I can't just give it up. And my kids need a shidduch and all this type of stuff, just trapped in jail. And this is what the machine is just pumping out. It's just God doesn't exist. What can you get out of life? And look at me, I'm behind a microphone, just pumping this stuff out, and I don't need any accreditations once I get the likes and the viewerships, so then everyone will think what I'm saying is Torah. It's a completely different religion, and I don't know who it's for.